What is up, guys? Welcome to my interview series Back to the Covers. In these interviews with members of our drum community, we look back at their first YouTube cover and celebrate how far they have come since starting and what got them started as a YouTuber. We check out how they've improved their drumming and their setup. Join me as we revisit our YouTube drummers past and look to their futures. What is up, guys? Welcome to part 8 of Back to the Covers, and I'm joined by the most epic of dudes. I've finally got him on. I'm so happy to talk to him. The amazing Joey Clark. Woo! Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, look at it. Just bring it. Oh man, I love it. Love it. Look at you.
Hey.
Solid.
I know you're a WWE fan, so am I, so I had to wear that.
It's funny, I was just telling you, I recorded my latest WWE one today, and it was The Rock. It's like you knew it. That is crazy. Perfect.
I can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
So how are you, brother? Are you well?
I'm very good, thank you very much.
Excellent.
Yeah, everything is good.
Excellent. This is the first time we've ever spoken, and we were just saying, we know each other. I don't feel like it's the first time I've spoken to you because I've seen you in other interviews. I've seen you talk on your channel. You know, we've messaged, we've collabed, so it's just really nice to finally talk to you. And apologies, it's taken 2 years, but hey, we're here now, and we're going to have a very awesome chat. So, awesome. This is your Back to the Covers journey, but of course, before we get into that, we have to talk about Back to the Future. So, have you seen the movies, and talk to me about that, sir?
I have. I've seen all three. The first movie I saw at a drive-in movie theater when it first came out.
That's so
and
cool.
That was that 1984, I think, right? 85, somewhere around there.
It's, I want to say, oh, this is rubbish, hang on. I claim to be a fan. 85, yes. No, it was set in 85. It came out. No, it was 1985, apologies. Yeah.
Okay.
85.
Yeah. So, yes. Yeah, so the first one I saw at the drive-in.
Yeah.
And the second one, I'm pretty sure, was probably at a drive-in too, but because we used to just go to the drive-ins, and I think they always came out around summertime, so I think they just happened to fall into that.
The summer blockbuster, yeah.
Yeah.
And are you a fan, and which one is your favorite?
Yeah, so I'm a super fan. The first two are definitely my favorite. First one probably is my most favorite, but just because, like, when he has the guitar and he cranks up the amp and then blows the whole speaker, and then when he's in the hazmat suit and he's pretending he's like Darth Vader and he hits the cassette player and it's like Eddie Van Halen shredding on the guitar and stuff.
So good.
So so the first one has a special place in my heart, but I love the second one because when they're younger or on the hoverboards and all that stuff. Yeah. And I just remember back in the day when the movie came out, Pizza Hut had all like the sunglasses and stuff that if you went to Pizza Hut, you could get the different kinds of sunglasses they had in the movie. So that was pretty funny.
Awesome.
I'm pretty sure I had some crazy sunglasses from the movie.
That is so cool. Now, I like to talk about merchandise. Now, I'm starting to run out of merchandise to show on these episodes, so I think I'm gonna have to get some. So, the last piece of merchandise I haven't shown yet is Dr. Emmett Brown from... Can you tell which one he's from?
That's from part 2.
Part 2, because he's got those sunglasses you were just talking about.
Right.
Now, that is not the only piece of merchandise that I want to show today. I have a surprise for you, sir. Here we go.
All right.
Can you see it?
I can.
There we
are.
I
like it.
Yes, you very kindly sent this to me, sir. I absolutely love it, and I think I've worn it for one of our collabs. Well, we'll talk about what we've collabed in a bit. I believe you have one of my t-shirts. How did you end up with one of my t-shirts? Remind me.
I won it. There was a wheel. I think you spun a wheel. Yeah.
Okay. That might have been my 1,000 subs giveaway, I think.
It might have been the...
Because I launched my spring store then. So I think that was the first... You were the first ever one to have one.
You are correct.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Yes.
I remember. That is so cool.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. That's enough of that. Now it's time to start your journey. So we're going to hop in the DeLorean and we are indeed going to go to your past. So here we go. Hold on tight. Let's go.
Okay. Here we go.
And here we are. The DeLorean has dropped us off. Now tell me, when are we?
We are in January of 2021.
Fantastic. Here we are. And tell me about this cover. What song is it and who is it by?
Okay, so the first cover I did was by Pantera, and it's called Cowboys from Hell.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
It's obviously I've seen it a lot getting prepared for today. It's such a great track. I don't listen to Pantera, but I've heard their songs, usually from drum covers, and probably your channel. It's awesome. So why did you choose this song?
I've always loved this song, and I thought it would be a great song to kick off the channel because it's kind of high energy. It's got some double bass and it's got some offbeat rhythms with some of the cymbals and stuff. So I thought I had a good mix of kind of showcase some of my drumming and stuff like that. So that's why I wanted to pick that song. And I just since I was probably 13 or 14, I've just been a huge fan of Pantera.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Now that leads us nicely to what made you start your YouTube channel.
Okay. So COVID had hit and everything had shut down, and I had been thinking about it for a while. And so once I was, so they're playing a band. So once the gigs kind of got shut down and practices and everything got shut down, I needed some sort of an outlet to, get my creative energy out. So I started talking to my brother is a video director and he does all that kind of stuff. So
wow.
I was kind of started talking to him about, because I didn't know much about video production and I didn't really know much. I mean, I've been in recording studios, but I never actually was doing the recording. There's an engineer always doing the recording stuff. So I figured, well, let's give it a shot. So I wanted to try and do it on a minimal, budget. So I ended up with just getting the board that's back here, and I just recorded direct to it, and then I input it into my computer, and then I was able to edit it. So I was able to figure it out and make it happen. So I was very, very happy with that.
So next, let's talk about your video equipment that you're using to record it. Tell me about that.
Okay, I was using 3 cameras back then. So I had 2 GoPros, 9s. Nice. So I had one overhead, cool, and then one on the bass drum. Mm-hmm. And then I had my iPhone that was coming from the front. So I just was able to splice those 3 together and make that work. So
many people use their phones. It's great.
Yes.
Because camera phones are amazing.
They are. And honestly, my main camera from the front is always my iPhone, because I know I can rely on that. It's always going to have, because sometimes the GoPros, if you go for a long time, they clip themselves. So you got to go through and then you have to put the videos back. So you might have a half of a song on one end of a clip and then a half of a song in the beginning. But I know with the iPhone, I'll have that entire, I don't have to go and put it back together. So I know it's one continuous file, and then I can just count on that as my base video, and then I can edit all the rest of stuff around it. So
awesome. And what video software did you use back then to edit it?
So DaVinci Resolve, and I still use that today. Yeah.
And was that a new process, or is that what your brother taught you to use?
Well, so that's what he used. So he told me it was free, and he goes, start. So I actually went on YouTube for a while too, and I watched a bunch of tutorials, and then I couldn't figure out how to switch camera angles.
Okay.
And cut it. They showed me how to do it on this video, but then it didn't always work properly. So he's like, oh, you just got to take couple keystrokes and then you click this and it turns it on, you click that, it turns it off. I was like, oh, perfect. Okay. And then I was able to go right from there. So
good.
Yeah.
Good. And how did you find it? So it was video editing a new process for you. So how did you find that?
So I found it a work in progress, and it's still a work in progress because I'm always, little tweaks or even trying little different transitions, and layering of, sometimes I'll layer a video or something in the background or on the foreground. So, and then you've got to find the transparency so you can still see your drums, but you still see a little bit of the overlay on top. Panning, dynamic zooms where if you have a static camera, but you can get it to come back and forth, or, flips and all that sort of stuff. So it's just that kind of stuff I got better with. And, doing collabs and stuff, that helps you get better at editing too, because you got 2 different videos to get in there and make it sound pretty good.
Yeah,
so,
no, great.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Now let's talk about your audio next. So, had you recorded drum audio before, or again, was this a new process for your channel?
It was a new process for me. So I did some research and I found that the Zoom L12 board has got 12 channels and I think an SD card so I put that in the back of it. Yeah. So I record everything dry onto the hard drive, and then I just pop that hard drive out, put it into my PC, and then I use Reaper for my digital audio workstation. Yeah. And I bought a couple of plugins that I use for the drums, and that's it. So, and then I master it. So I bought a mastering program as well. So.
Awesome. Now I love your mixing board. It's just it's something that I think when I first started watching your channel, it just stands out. I mean, it looks so cool there. Like, you know what I mean? Just the way the levels bounce and the size of it, it's epic. I love it. It's good. Well, so when you recorded this your first cover, how many microphones do you have, and where are they in your setup?
I have this. Let's see. So I had a kick drum, all the toms. I got a top snare, a bottom snare, and 2 overheads, and that was it.
That was it.
So 5, 6, 6, 7, 8 mics.
Good. And did you find that much of a chore? You know, again, how much was that learning process? And
the only thing was learning where the drum would clip and not the clip. So just where the audio level had to be, so it wasn't redlining. Yeah. Once you figure that out, it was pretty easy, you know. And then phasing. So like the snare drum has 2 microphones, one on top and the bottom. So you got to turn the phase off. Yeah. So there's a little button on each of the channels, and you just hit that, and that wasn't that hard either. I all learned that from YouTube, just watching tutorials on YouTube. So
cool, excellent, good stuff. Now, is it the same room that from your first cover? You always in that room? It's the same spot.
Yeah, I just didn't have curtains around it, so it was just a big open room. Now I put curtains just to block it off, so you can't see like all the shelves and stuff.
And I'm comparing your kit. I assume it's a different kit.
It's a different kit, yeah. So that kit on the first video was a D-drum 5-piece, and it's made out of alderwood. And I bought that kit. For $500. I use that kit live now. Okay, that's my. I put that. I packed that up, put it in cases, and now that's ready to go whenever I have a gig. Cool. Okay.
Now I really like the color of that one. The red surrounds on the red color and the black is awesome. That's really it's tidy. It's very tidy. Okay, cool. We've covered most of the stuff in the past. If you could, of course, go back and have spoken to yourself, what advice would you give yourself back there now about being a drum tuber?
I would tell myself to relax and enjoy the process, and you'll get better at it as you go along. So don't get frustrated.
Progress. Yeah, I hear you with the relaxing. I'm working a lot on my relaxation, but like everyone, right? I think I spoke about this in every Back to the Covers, the red light of doom, isn't it? So actually, on that subject, how many takes did it take you? Do you remember, or did you get it? Was it a few?
That's a good question. This is a long time ago. I'm going to say it took it a couple, probably 4 or 5, I would think. I know it took me a while. Because just to remember everything and get it set up and then play, then not to be nervous, play. Sometimes, because for some reason I turn the cameras on and then sometimes I forget the whole song. I'm like, I just played this thing 30 times with no problem. I turned the cameras on. I don't remember how to play it.
It's a bizarre thing. It's a bizarre thing. And of course, I'm assuming this was the first time that you ever recorded yourself.
That was
doing a cover. So it must have been a weird sensation. I did it. It must be a psychological thing. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
The red light of doom. But it's there, and we shall laugh at it to not give it the power. So that's cool. Okay, man, awesome. So that's everything in the past. So let's hop back into the DeLorean and go back to the future to the present. Here we go.
Okay.
And here we are back in good old 2023. And you have remastered your cover of Cowboys from Hell by Pantera. So how did you find remastering it? What was it like?
Well, I had fun.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of my favorite songs, and it's one of my favorite Pantera songs, so I never have an issue playing that song. So it didn't take that long to kind of like muscle memory, right? Start playing it, and it's like, oh yeah, I remember how this goes. And this time I wanted to make it as tight as possible. Yeah. Versus the older video, there was some flaws in there that I, could recognize. So this time I was like, let's just make it as tight as possible and as hard rocking as possible. So
accomplished.
That's what I did.
It is awesome. I love it. It's
thank
really,
you.
really cool. And of course, it's the same room, but your setup does look different. So we'll run through everything that you're doing differently now. Number one, you got a big ass flag of your logo, right?
That is true.
That is so cool.
Yeah,
where did you get that done?
Teespring.
Yeah.
So I had them make it, and then they sent it over, and then I kind of like every couple months I swap out flags and banners and stuff. So before that I had the Dramatic banner back here, and then I was like, oh, let's try this for a while, and then a couple months from now I'll have something else.
It's very cool, very cool. And of course the one thing that I always notice in your videos is that big epic looking mixer. So it's the same mixer, right?
Same one.
Did you change your microphone setup at all? Or is it the same as when you started?
I've added one more mic so I have a hi-hat mic now. So now I have 9 mics instead of 8 mics. So it just gives it a little more crispness. You can kind of control the volume more. So if you need a little more, you can bring it up. Or sometimes when you're doing the foot, with your foot, I need a little more volume, so I'm able to adjust that. So
awesome.
But I always like my hi-hat a little bit higher in the mix.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Now, if I remember correctly, one of the ways that you test the quality of your audio is to listen to it in the car, right?
Oh, I do, yeah.
I started nicking that idea, actually. And I always... Because car stereos sound amazing, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and then, because then you can pick it out. Like,
oh,
that's got to go up a little bit. This got to go down a little bit. Yeah.
It's such a cool way of doing it as well. I love it. Yep. Really good idea. So I stole that from
excellent.
you. That's very cool.
Take it.
Now, let's talk about your cameras. So, are you using the same cameras? I know there's more of them, right? There's more angles. So tell me about the difference in your camera setup.
Yeah. So now I have 4 GoPro 9s and 1 iPhone 14 Pro Max. So the setup as far as how I use them are basically the same. So my iPhone is always the camera coming from the front. I always have there's a GoPro coming from the ride, and then coming over the left side of the hi-hat, and then I always have one on top coming down. And I was doing there's one thing that did change. I was doing the bass drum camera. But sometimes it's a love-hate relationship with me, because I like to see it, but I also feel it takes away sometimes from the overall picture that you're trying to watch. Like, it's a distraction almost.
Okay.
So lately I haven't been doing that. What I did is I took the camera and put it on my desk, and then I shoot down to like a snare drum, but it gets the toms and the hi-hat. So sometimes if there's like a cool fill, you can get that right up close, and then I'll throw that in there instead of the bass drum thing. So that's what I've been doing.
Cool. And the video editing software is still DaVinci?
Correct. Yes. Yeah, it's just upgraded from, I think it was 16 or 17. It's 18 now.
Yeah. And do you feel that you've mastered that?
I feel that I've gotten pretty good with it. Yes, I'm pretty comfortable with it. So where I don't have any more questions. Although I will say that when I did the collab with Rockin' Vader, he brought my level of editing up
cool.
From here to here,
cool.
because I was like,
cool.
he's a master. I was
yeah, he is.
I was like, yeah. So
awesome.
that I was very excited when we did that collab together. So
that's very cool to hear, man. That's very cool to hear. Okay, so let's talk about your kit. We know it's a different kit that you use now. So walk me through the kit that you're using currently.
Okay, currently I'm using a Pro Masters Maple Custom, and I believe it was the MMX variation of the Masters. So the difference in the MMX versus the other ones, where it's a 4-ply maple shell, but then they have 6-ply reinforcement rings around the top and the bottom of the shell. It's a black sparkle kit, and it has black hardware. The cymbals are all Zildjian A Customs. They're pretty much all the same. I think they're all the same, except I've added an extra hi-hat over here, and I added a effects crash symbol over here. So that was a China in the video.
Right. Okay.
Which actually in the new video and the old video, there's 2 Chinas, because Vinnie Paul had 2 Chinas, so I had to have the 2 Chinas in there.
Cool trivia.
So,
cool trivia.
Yeah.
But I think your kit looks stunning. It's such a nice looking kit, and just your whole setup and the quality. Even your first cover, the actual production value was very good, and that's quite rare on a first cover because people were just starting out. So you've always kind of hit the nail on the head. Now, you mentioned obviously it's a custom kit. Now, one of the first things I want to talk about of your achievements, you are an Attic Custom Drums official artist.
Yes, I am.
Wow, wow, wow. So how many of his custom snare drums do you have?
Right now, I have 2 at the moment. So the very first one I had made was a 5.5 by 14 10-ply maple with it's actually on the kit right now, with a white sparkle finish and black chrome hardware. The second drum I had made was a brass 6.5 by 14 brass, hand-hammered brass, with black hardware, because I always get black hardware. The only difference on that one was the strainer, or the throw-off, I got a DW throw-off. First, this is just, I don't know, kind of your standard run-of-the-mill strainers, I guess. But now I have one in production. So what is in production now is a 6.5 by 14 waterfall bobinga snare drum. So it's waterfall bobinga wood. It's a 10-ply snare drum, and I found 2 drums that I really liked. I saw this Tama snare drum and a DW snare drum. I said, I want to take both of these and put them into one drum. Okay. And I said, and then I was like, once I figured out what I wanted, I said, Eric, this is what we have to do. He's like, I got it. So So it's there's been some photos online of it, and so now I'm just waiting to see, waiting to get it. So
obviously you got asked to be the official artist for them. How do you feel about that? That's one hell of an accomplishment.
Well, I was really excited because Eric was one of the first, I would say, drummers or people that I noticed, like, he was like very real, like everything, like he wore his heart on his sleeve kind of thing, and is very emotional, but like you can feel that through the screen kind of thing. I was like, that's very rare, I think, to get that in somebody. Right. So I immediately was like, oh man, I really like this dude. So like he was the first collab that I ever did. I reached out to him and I said, hey, would you be interested in collabing? And so that's how we kind of started out. And then I think I did his Backbeat interview, and I think from there, that's sort of where we really kind of gelled, and he saw that maybe I would be a good fit for the Attic Custom Drums.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
Good.
So I was very honored.
That's very cool. That's very cool. Now, other stuff you've accomplished. Your Drummers to Watch episode was in January 2021, episode 18. I believe it was. So that was very cool. I thought I had written this down, but I didn't. When did you hit 1,000 subs?
That was, it was, I'm going to say August.
Yeah.
Around August, somewhere around there.
I remember when that happened. That's one hell of an accomplishment, man. So tell me about that. How do you feel about that, and what's it meant to you?
So, it was very satisfying and rewarding. It was, I feel, I want to thank you because it was one of our conversations that we had, just chatting back and forth. I was like, because I think I asked you, or no, you did a video, I think, on how you were growing your channel. And you said, oh, I just will go find 5 different channels a day and then I'll sub to them and hopefully they'll sub back. And I said, oh, that's a good idea. And it's an achievable goal.
Yeah.
So in my personal trainer brain, when I'm trying to tell people how to lose weight and stuff, you have to have an attainable, achievable goal. So I was like, oh, that's an easy way to do that. So, and then you add 5 maybe a day or even 5 a week or whatever, however it is, they eventually start to add up.
Yeah.
So that's how I started to grow my channel.
That's awesome.
Just by doing that, and that worked. Lately, I find that some of the short videos have been really helping as well to get some more subscribers and stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of the YouTube Shorts is a new beast, isn't it? And anybody that can work it out and make the most of it is awesome. But I've noticed your Shorts, they're awesome. And like you said about gaining the subs, it's all about interaction. Like so many people ask me, it's, just interact with people, just like we do in our community, right? And then next thing you know, you're supporting them, they're supporting you. Next thing you're collabing together, and we're in a situation like this. It's great. So it comes around full circle.
Absolutely.
So on the subject of collabs, you were in my first ever 16 drummer collab, which was Seven Nation Army, and then you also did another one, Bites the Dust.
Yes, I did.
Do you remember the 2 tracks that me and you have collabed on, just you and I, sir?
Yes.
Architects.
Remember?
Yeah.
Well, Animals, Architects.
Animals, Architects.
And Saliva, Always.
Yeah, so good.
And we did one more. We did Scorpions, No One Like You.
Ah, yes, we did. 3. We did 3. Man, yeah.
That was the first one.
Yeah.
Scorpions.
I know my drum teacher gave me Saliva to do, and I think on the day he gave me it, I was like, Joey.
That's a great song.
What I like to call my heavier tracks. I'm always like, yeah, Joey, and that's when I use my Metallica-inspired kit as well, or my new kit.
Very nice.
So I'm like, yeah, Joey.
Awesome.
But yeah, no one like you. Scorpions was amazing as well. I had a lot of fun playing that with you. And yeah, Architects, Animals, that was just fun. Great.
That's an awesome song.
Yeah. Awesome. Who else have you collabed with? So you've already mentioned Dramatic was your first. Rock Invader you mentioned?
Yep.
Who else have you collabed
We got Drumman 190, El Baterista Repusto, Mike Few, Max D, from Max D Drum Channel, Stamatis, 11 Drums.
Yeah.
Toby from 11 Drums, Johnny on the drums, Guitar on Fire. We did a collab. He did. I did 2 with him. I did Anthrax from my channel, and then we did the Iron Maiden song, The Klansman, on his channel.
Fantastic.
So been quite a few collabs.
It would probably be quicker for me to ask you who haven't you collabed with, because that's quite a list. But yeah, what do you like about doing the collabs?
So, well, I love watching. So when everybody syncs up, and like it's like perfectly in sync, but you can cut back and forth, and it's like there's no difference whatsoever. It's like, but so obviously you have different styles, so sometimes it's fun to see how I play it versus how the other drummer plays it, right? Yeah. And sometimes I'm like, ooh, I never thought about playing it like that kind of thing. So I like to see how other drummers interact with each other, and like, kind of when they're cutting back and forth or playing together, and to see how well they sync up. It's pretty fun. So, but a lot of times I wouldn't ever do the song. Like if somebody suggests a song, I would have never thought about that song. So that's what really is cool, because it gets me to play something that I probably would have not thought of myself. So that's probably, I would say that's the coolest thing of doing collabs.
Yeah.
Doing something sometimes out of my comfort level, out of my comfort zone or whatever, and just trying something different. So I would say that.
Excellent. And going back to when you were featured on Drummers to Watch, what did that do for you? And is that when you kind of came into what we refer to as our drum community?
Yes. So my very first comment on that Pantera Cowboys from Hell video was from Drumman 190. And I was like, wow, I didn't think anybody was going to say anything about anything on that video, right? So I'm like, oh, this is cool. So it's like, oh, what do you do now? Like, so, you know, like, right. So I commented back, right? And then I checked out his channel, and then I just kind of kept going down the rabbit hole, right? And then, oh, I see, he's doing this, he's doing that kind of thing. And then eventually I was like, I wonder if there's any groups of drummers on Facebook. And then I found drummers to watch on there, and then from there it just kind of snowballed. And so, but I always say Matthew from Drum Man 190 definitely helped propel my channel by putting me on that drummers to watch.
It's the same for me as well, and I think everyone I've spoken to, he's done so much for us. It's amazing. And of course, he's also a official Drum Addict artist as well. Isn't he? So
absolutely.
That's so cool. That's so cool. And you've been on his 5 Strokes at 5 as well, haven't you? So you've done interview-wise, you've done the backbeat with Eric, you've done Matthew's 5 Strokes. Have you done any other interviews? I want to say that you have. I feel I've seen.
I have. Brian Gribben,
awesome.
A podcast, and then Chris McDonald from Drummer's Key.
Yeah, who was the first to do kind of these interviews, wasn't he? He's the one that got us going. And now you've done Back to the Covers, you've done them all. So somebody else needs to start now. We're going to pass the torch. Somebody else needs to start a interview process. So this is cool. Okay, awesome. We're pretty much done in the present, apart from why do you love being a drum tuber? What do you love about doing this?
Number one, so I've always had 2 passions in my life. One was lifting weights and one was drumming. So I get the creative energy out in every way possible. Drumming, producing, like music, production of music, video production. So everything that because I was in high school, I was like an artist and a musician. Cool. So all I really wanted to do was create art and music. Yeah. I get to do both with this. So for me, it's everything that I've ever wanted to do. Yeah. And it's fun really meeting people all over the world, like, which I never even expected that would happen. Yeah. But that's one of the coolest things that's come out of this thing is just, you know, meeting everybody and then getting to talk to them and then become friends with them. I mean, it's like what can't you like about that?
Yeah, so cool, right there with you. I think it's an amazing hobby, isn't it? It's just so much fun. It's exciting, and I think your reason too. I love my video editing. I love the creative process as well. We're so lucky, dude.
We are for sure. That's absolutely true.
Okay, well, next we're gonna go back into the DeLorean and go into the future to talk about any future plans and such. So here we go. One last trip. Let's go. And here we are at our last stop, and we're done in the DeLorean now. So this is all about the future of your channel. So tell me, what have you got planned, and where do you want things to go?
Okay, so there's one of the videos I have planned is to do a video of the production part of it. So I did a couple weeks ago a rundown of like the studio tour, like what kind of drums, heads, you know, that sort of stuff, microphones. And now I want to do the backside. So basically the video production part of it, the sound production part of it, what plugins I use and how I edit the video. So that's one thing that I want to do. And then I was thinking about doing a series of exercise videos for drummers, because I think that's important, or even stretches. So like, and probably both. So I'll do one with like exercising and like, you know, maybe put a program or something together and then film it and say, you know, all drummers, I think, should be in some sort of physical activity, just because it's a physical thing that we do is drumming. So I think the better shape you're in, the better drummer you can be. But it's also about being flexible. So I think even a video with maybe just some stretches and warm-ups before you sit down behind the kit. So that's another aspect that I'd like to look in. Well, that's why I'm actually going to film one of those. So those are 2 things that I'd like to do in the future.
Dude, I think that is genius. And if those of you that don't know, Joey is a personal trainer, so hence this. Right. But dude, I think that is absolutely genius, and you could be the official personal trainer for all drummers out there. I love it.
There we go.
That's absolutely genius.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I like it. So I could just imagine it now, because I've got a new iPad on my wall.
Yes.
I could just imagine playing your video, warming up to use my kit, man. That's so much fun.
That would be awesome. That's what it'd be for. So yeah, absolutely.
I love it. Cool. As for your channel, I mean, like I said, you've already hit 1,000 subs. You're currently at 1.39k, which is a lovely thing. The fact you have to abbreviate it down now is awesome, isn't it? It's like 1.39k. That's
well,
so cool.
Funny thing about that, I didn't know how to read that at first.
Okay.
And I thought somebody was like, because I kept they were going up by 10. I'm like, I don't know how I'm getting so many subs at one time. I go, something's wrong. So I messaged Matthew. I messaged Drumman 190. I go, has this ever happened to you? Because I get all these subs, but I don't know how I'm getting them. And he's like, I realized I was reading the thing. I thought they were going up by 100, but it was only going up by 10 at a time. And he goes, that's all that's happening. He goes, you got to calm down. Yeah. So once I figured out how to read that was.
You no longer see the single digit; it goes up in tens now. It's a bizarre thing, but I can understand why that would happen. Yeah. But what an awesome thing to have an issue with. That's great. I love it. It's going up in tens now. It's so cool. What is kind of your next goal? I mean, what's your hopes and your dreams for your channel?
So, well, I mean, I try and keep it small, and so like, let's see, I'd like to go, maybe get 1,500 subscribers would be my next goal, and then just keeping the frequency of my uploads. So I try and do like 1 to 2 a week, try and keep it between there.
Okay, cool. Anyway, I love your future plans, particularly the exercise thing. So you be sure to send me a link straight away. I want to get even more in shape. So cool. Okay, so we are now done in your future. Okay, Joey Cluck Drum. So that was your Back to the Covers journey. So how did you find this experience, sir?
I had a blast. This was awesome. Yeah. I'm so glad that you asked me to come on. Hey,
absolutely my pleasure. And like I said, I think it's so cool. Everything you've achieved is awesome. Everything you've got planned is awesome. You keep on being awesome. You're a big part of our community. And we salute you, sir. So really, really well done. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. So I'm going to close out this episode like I do at the end of every Back to the Covers episode in the wise words of Dr. Emmett Brown. Your future hasn't been written yet. No one has. Your future is whatever you make it. So make it a good one. Joey Clark Drums, you are epic. Thank you very much. And we will see you all next time. Thank you.
All right.
Now, that's not the only piece of merchandise. I want to show you something. Oh, man boobs.
Oh, hey.
You see what I'm wearing, bro?
I do see that.
It's the Joey Clark's t-shirt, which you sent to me. You're very, very kind to send to me, sir. Very, very welcome indeed.
Thank you.
I think I'm going to do that bit again so I don't show man boob.
Okay.
That's right. We're still rolling, but I can cut this. We're not live, are we? Are we live? No, we're not live.
I don't know.
I don't know how to take it off without, flashing everybody. Okay, and here we are. The DeLorean has taken us to when, sir? When are we?
We are in 2023. Wait. Oh, wait. We're talking about the first video?
I'm going to stop recording. Equipment. So what video equipment are you using to record this? And how many cameras have you got set up on this?
So I do 5 cameras. And I use 4 zoom cameras. So I have one that's to the left of me, kind of like over my shoulder.
Is this how it was on this cover, your first cover?
That's a good. No, I only had 3 cameras.
Okay, let's splice it here, and we'll talk about those cameras. It's time travel, buddy. Okay.